Palacio. Well, I bought their grandma's house because as a kid I tried to rob it. Because I was a homeless kid. I was a street kid, and I'd have to go with the older guys, and they would use me to pick. I was small. They'd poke me over fences, and I'd go rob rich people's houses. I wouldn't rob. I'd just go in and check it out, and then I'd whistle, and they'd all come in, right? So I went over to this one house, and I saw this old lady reading a book by her fireplace, and I looked in, and I thought, damn, that's a nice house. I think I was 9 years old, 9 years old, and then I went back out over the wall. I said, no, she's got pit bulls and Rottweilers everywhere, man. Because I didn't want them robbing her house, right? But I did jump over that wall thinking, one day I'm going to own this house. So I came back later, right? And it was quite expensive, right? Over $600, right? And I bought it. But the interesting thing was that when I gave the guy the check, he took it down to the bank, and the bank wouldn't cash it. They said, how do we know it's you're not ripping him off? The real estate lady told me that, right? You guys work in real estate. So she came back. She said, they won't cash this. I said, now you know what a Chicano feels like. When the boss gives us our check on Fridays, we have to go down, not to the bank, because we can't go in and cash it. We have to go to this other place that says, oh, you're making $100 a week. We take 25 for cashing it, right? You know what I'm saying? So everything went well. She learned her lesson. I gloated for about 2 seconds and had to realize I'm going to pay for the house, right? How the hell am I going to do this? Childhood dream of mine, right? So I called everybody up and said, I need help. Everybody drove up, and of course I had white guys come driving up. They were all tacked out, all friends of my kids, right? I got 5 kids. So all the white boys came up, and they were all tacked up with crazy skateboarder stuff, and they were like, right? Then all the fine rucas and all the guys came up in their lowriders, right? And they all had nice little pit bulls, right? Then all the dreadlock, Gabe, the filmmaker, all his dreadlock friends from Jamaica, because they were doing a documentary, they all came, they had these long dreads, right? Everybody rolls up, smoking blunts, right? And they're all moving stuff in for me, right? Everybody in that neighborhood was on the phone to the cops. Everybody was on that phone to the cops. And me, just being me inside, you know, like I was probably eating, is what I do a lot, right? I was in the kitchen, right? We have one of these great kitchens in this house. The cop came. One of my sons says, Poppy, they're outside. And I go, So I go outside. Cop's there. He says, you know what, the neighbors really want you to get everybody here and get out. You can come back later to work on this house. And I said, we're not working on it, dude. I said, I own it. And in that 1 second, the cop did like it was like this reverse asphyxiation, suspended animation, right? And I said, I own it. He's like, what? How do I deal with this crazy Chicano owning the house here, right? And I'm like, it's okay. But do me a big favor. I said, when you insult me, do it on the other side of the line. Because you're stepping on my property and you insult me. So just like step back over there. Then you can insult me all you want, but not on my property, right? So the guy was like, and I said, that's okay, go. So he laughed, right? I said, there's no noise, everybody's just helping me move in, right? Then, we're moving, we're doing this stuff. One of the kids outside smells smoke. And right next door, this Greek lady, Bessie, in her 80s, she owns all the Greek, remember Bessie?
Yeah, she used to give me cookies and figs.
Yeah, figs. And she used to, there's smoke coming out, and the kids didn't even wait. These so-called radical white kids with tattoos immediately jumped over the fence, kicked the door in, went into the kitchen, and she had her arm on fire. And the kitchen was on fire. And they picked her up without even a word, brought her out, handed her over the fence, and they were off to the hospital in one of their lowrider cars, right? Well, it turned out, they saved her kitchen and they saved her house. It turned out she was the one that called the cops on us. And about 2 weeks later, she had her arm all bandaged up. She came over. She said, I really wasn't scared of you kids, but I really like you. And I made you some little cupcakes for everybody. And she came to the house and she kept bringing over fig cupcakes, fig cakes, figs, everything. And then we said, Bessie, okay, easy on the figs now, you know? You got about 20 fig trees out there. Give us something else besides figs, you know? So Bessie ended up being one of our best friends, huh?
Yeah, but like,
She's not. She didn't about die yet.
good.
Yeah, she's good.
Hey, Poppy.